It was a tug of war between the buyers and the sellers of stocks today. In the end, the major averages were just slightly lower. Deborah Kostroun is at the New York Stock Exchange to tell us what was weighing on investors' minds today. Deborah.
Well, thanks a lot, Pimm. You know, we did see a lot of back and forth for much of the trading day. The biggest culprits leading this market lower were energy stocks. And this was after crude oil falling from its 7-week high after traders kind of realizing that Tropical Storm Alex will not likely be affecting oil production in the Gulf of Mexico, that causing those energy stocks to be lower on the day, Pimm.
Now, Deborah, some news coming out of the Supreme Court today, very positive for the shares of tobacco stocks. What about the details?
You know, this was a really big deal, Pimm, and it was certainly a big blow to the government's case that had been actually going on since 1999. Essentially, the Supreme Court saying that tobacco companies are not on the line for $280 million in back profits, and analysts saying that the tobacco companies can actually breathe a sigh of relief after, you know, kind of getting away from this overhang of this possible legal, this large amount of money that they would have to pay. Altria's volume actually 3 times what it normally is. We typically see about 12 million shares trading in that stock, but today we saw 38 million shares. So definitely a lot of interest, not only with Altria, but also with Reynolds American and Lorillard. Those were some of the biggest gainers in the S&P.
Now, Deborah, investor interest having to do also with some of the biggest gainers in the S&P 500 today, telecom stocks, right? Tel Labs as well as Sprint. Tell us about this other batch of stocks that seem to buck the trend. Why were they higher?
You know, we have more news from Washington that was really kind of helping out some stocks today, or at least some of the bright spots in the market. Telecom stocks rising after President Barack Obama proposing today to almost double the amount of airwaves that are available for things like smartphones and laptop connections to the internet, and also new wireless devices. So the government taking that very seriously and wondering, do we really have enough airwave space? But they're trying to make sure that we do.
And Deborah, Micron Technology, the shares moving in extended trading, this after releasing their earnings in the past hour. Tell me about this maker of memory.
Well, what we have, Micron, they reported their 3rd straight quarterly profit. Now, Micron and their competitors are actually benefiting from stronger pricing because we've had a 2-year glut that forced them to slash their spending on new factories. But we do have the stock moving a little bit lower, as you can see, down 5%. And this is mainly because a lot of their gains were actually coming from another company that they bought. It really didn't come from internal. So that's one of the reasons that we do see pressure on that stock right now. Back to you, Pimm.
All right. Thank you very much. Deborah Kostroun reporting from the NYSE.